Hey everyone, welcome to 24 hours into my fast, which I started in memory of the Fukushima victims in Japan 9 years ago today. I think this is one of the first few times I've ever gone 24 hours. I used to do 16 hours regularly. That's not too hard, but there's probably a handful of, aside from times when I was ill, a handful of times that I've done 24. There's a phrase I want you to repeat of your first 24 hours, or especially if you're only planning on going on a 24 or a 32-hour fast. Usually, if I do 24, I'm going to do 32 because it seems like a waste to throw it away when you can get 8 hours for free at the end. So, on a 32-hour fast, what I usually tell myself is, "Hello, Mr. Craving. Uh, Thanks for spending a Wednesday with me. Thanks for celebrating or commemorating the anniversary of the Fukushima victims with me. I know you're only here for another few hours, but I enjoy your company." And in my mind, I shake hands with. I tend to envision this as a guy, though. It doesn't seem like a girlfriend for some reason. It's more like a best friend forever, a male best friend forever. I tend to envision him as a human, though, not as a robot, not as an animal, not as God or anything, but as a human friend that I might mingle with. I've had a few male friends that have lasted a number of years. Never lifelong, though. Mr. Craving is definitely somebody who can come visit at least once or twice a month. I know I'm going to spend time with him over my big anniversaries. So, June 11 and June 13, I used to call them my twin anniversaries. But now I call it a 10 million mile miracle. I'll get to why in a second. On June 11th, 2011, for the first time in my life, I apologize for the noise, but the engine needs to run for this backlight to power. Um, June 11, 2011, for the first time in my life, a girl had started a conversation with me, and we hit it big. Unfortunately, she has other life plans, but it was a good experience, and I'm still using the lessons learned from that relationship to this day. On June 13 of 2010, I I couldn't find a girl to take on a date with, and I ended up going on a date with myself, and I had a good time as well. I do that a lot actually nowadays. Actually, I'm just outside of Spokane right now, and I hope to catch the night sky. Let's see in the video mode if I can see anything. We can see Venus over there, but not much else when it's doing video mode. I hope to catch that before I head back to Seattle. Um, so June 13th, I couldn't find a girl to take on a date, and I went by myself, and I had a good time. And so for a number of years, I called that my twin anniversaries because they were all about me enjoying the company of both myself and with somebody else, right? So I called it twin anniversaries. But then on June 17, 2014, I had just started a job, and I had another good conversation with a girl. Unfortunately, we're good friends. She and her family are a different religion. It doesn't really match well, but we enjoy each other's company, and that's good. Uh, and so June 11th through the 17th, I now call the 10 million mile miracle because we live on a spaceship that travels about 10 million miles between June 11th and the 17th. At least relative to the sun. Relative to the Milky Way, it's a lot more, right? So I call it a 10 million mile miracle. It's a catchy name, so that's why I call it that. Kind of funny, where I grew up, we used to have signs on the highway. It says "Buckle up for the next million miles." So I guess it depends on your perspective, right? If you're Neil Armstrong, you still have to be buckled up the whole way, right? But if you're counting how much our ground is traveling, then it's only a day or so, right? It depends on your perspective, right? Or you could say that I've been fasting for how many miles now? I'll let you do the calculation. But again, try to enjoy the company of Mr. Fast or whatever you want to call him. I tend to envision him as a European, though. I don't know why. Especially, I've mingled with a few people who are French, at my computer gaming conference, Mr. Fast slash Mr. Craving, Mr. Hunger. I tend to envision him as a French guy for some reason, and I try to enjoy his company. I shake hands with him in my mind. I go, I think about him before bed. I read a bedtime story to him. I hear him read a bedtime story to me. It's not that I hear things, but it's just how I prefer to think about this feeling. And if you can feel that way, it'll be good. One of the reasons that I wanted to do this fast was because I wanted to free myself from constantly fixating on food. I had a wake up call a couple months ago at my job when I was dealing with one of my clients and I couldn't wait to get back to my food, and I really ruined the conversation. And today during my fast, I all of a sudden got this huge lift. I was driving and I didn't have to think about if I'm going to spill food in the car. I went to a gas station and I could talk to people without worrying how long is this conversation going to drag. It's just a huge amount of freedom. Oh, Mr. Freedom. I think of him as an American guy for some reason. There's Mr. Craving and Mr. Freedom when I do the fast. For some reason, I tend to think of Mr. Freedom as an American guy because I guess America is one of the more free countries, right? Uh, and yeah, so say hello to your craving. Shake hands with him. Don't treat him like an enemy. It's kind of like pray for your enemies, right? I like to think of it that way, right? Except I don't even treat him like an enemy, and enjoy it while it lasts. Enjoy the benefits. Try to realize all the mental health benefits associated with it, and most importantly, have fun with it.